In this time of pandemic, last June 2021, Indonesia hit hard by the pandemic of COVID-19. And a lot of people losing their life, their job, family, the loved one, including our church, Mennonite Church in Indonesia, the church in the US, especially Mosaic community. 3 Indonesian churches raising funds, and then work with the American church, work together, we send money. And as the result, they did a mass vaccination. 8,000 people were vaccinated. The building that will be used for the Mennonite World Conference meeting. We invited the community in Semarang, and the whole community, thousands of people from many different backgrounds came into the church for vaccination. Even religious clerics come together and sit in the church, and we provide love and share the good news, friendship, love, and giving food and snack, and especially they get vaccinated. We targeted for the second phase of the program. We want to target for the Christmas. We want to go specifically, we focus on the marginalized people to get vaccinated, but also distribute food and basic necessity. We will share the good news, not only in the church, not only in the US, but all over the world.
Attending the youth venture trip was definitely something very impactful for me, not only because it was the first missions type trip I've been on, but because I actually learned a lot from it.
Me and the other youth were exposed to a lot of information that we normally wouldn't be exposed to. And so through like the speakers and the tour givers and, through the museums and the things we experienced, we were able to see what happened in a more like wide angle lens, and we were able to see like not only the events that happened, but also the spiritual background and the spiritual battles that were fought throughout the civil rights movement.
It was really amazing. I got to learn things that I thought I knew and I didn't. I got to learn things that I didn't even know happened, or things that I didn't even know they did. And it was really interesting, and it was really fun.
You could say that the aspect of this world being broken can be represented from people who are uneducated about civil rights and who don't necessarily care or have a desire for change.
I was able to connect Jesus' life to this. There was a story about a man, but obviously he was being prosecuted. And thinking about it, I was like, wow, like at that time, like everybody prosecuted Jesus and did things to him, really terrible things to him, when he really came to save us, to love us.
I definitely saw that with the people that we interacted with, our tour guides, everyone that we met with. They all had this desire to make progress. Yes, overall the trip was really good, and I do recommend going on other trips in the future.
Ours is a church with a white steeple surrounded by fields of corn and soybeans. Where we are rarely encountering problems with our local police. So when Mennonite Central Committee released the new program about racism called Defund the Police, it was met with a wide variety of feelings. We realized that we, being believers in the reconciling love of Jesus, needed to reach out and to see another point of view.
One of the things that we did out of the Defund the Police curriculum discussion was to read Jamar Tisby's book on how to combat racism. And one of his practical suggestions at the end is form more relationships and learn from people of color. And we've enjoyed a long relationship with Oxford Circle. And so we contacted Katie Gard down at Oxford Circle and said, Katie, we humbly want to come listen and learn. And as a congregation that's primarily white, middle class, we wanted to hear more of what's it like for an Anabaptist Christian during this time of racism in Philadelphia. Let us come and learn and ask questions and fellowship with you. And that's how this trip came about.
They welcomed us into the church. We sat together. We listened to their stories and we learned. We found that they have been followers of Christ through times of great difficulty, including prejudice and violence. By seeing our broken and beautiful world through the eyes of another, we grow.
As we focus on cultural learning and those kind of things as a conference, that we practice it. It's easy in this time to get in your comfortable zone and stick with people who are like-minded. It's especially important to get out of that comfort zone and to make sure that you're having respectful and good conversations with people that experience faith and life differently than you. It's also helped us to look more closely in our own neighborhood.
We are working now, partnering with other churches to be able to welcome a refugee family from Afghanistan. And it's one of the ways that we're growing. And of course, we hope to continue to expand and develop our relationships with those of you who are in our fellow churches in the Mosaic Mennonite Conference.